Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Coach Becca, and we are going to be doing a beginner's core workout today. Super simple foundational core exercises. So if you're a beginner, fantastic way to build your foundation. I might refer to our core as foundation. If you're an experienced athlete, this is a great way if you've done a lot of training lately and you just need to maybe engage the core without overdoing anything. This would also be a great warm-up routine before a sport like swimming that involves a lot of core work and coordination without overtaxing the system. So you can use this in a variety of ways. This training session is going to be simple and effective enough that you could do it pretty frequently, which is why I labeled it for beginners. I won't say daily, as in 7 days a week, but I do think you could benefit from doing it 3 to 5 times per week, really consistently for maybe 2 to 3 weeks, and then maybe advancing up from there. So that's how I'd use today's session to approach it. We don't need any weight, and our volume today is going to be relatively small, just so that you can do everything correctly. So just to wrap your mind around that, plan for a 15-minute workout, and let's get started with our super simple core exercises. Go ahead and come on down to the mat, which I do recommend having just in terms of comfort, but if you have a nice soft surface, that would work fine too. You're going to place your knees and feet shoulder width apart, keep your feet flat on the ground, and you're just going to lay back, okay? So our first exercise is going to be a glute bridge, and this is going to engage our butt and core muscles, okay? Great way to relieve pressure in the lower back and open the hips. A lot of core exercises tighten up the hips even more, so this is a fantastic beginner core exercise that I recommend doing frequently. So let's do a set of 12, all right? So I want you to squeeze the glutes together like you're crushing a walnut between your butt cheeks, and then pinch the core muscles together, lower down. That's 1, 2, and just breathe with the movement, however feels naturally for you. 3, 4, 5, 6 is halfway, and just try to really press those hips up as much as you can. 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, and 12. So I'm going to teach you another exercise, and then we'll come back to that because I really believe doing things at least twice can help retain the movement pattern. So what we're going to do now is just bring your feet off of the mat. Your knees are going to be directly over your hips, and you can still keep that kind of shoulder width spread if you'd like. What you're going to do is tap one heel to the ground and bring it back up. Tap the other heel to the ground and bring it back up. So we're going to do a set of 12 that way. Here we go. Breathe with it for 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice how the knee stays bent. So I'm not extending the leg out. I'm just tapping the heel and coming back. So the only thing really that's moving is the hip. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, 1 more. Very good. You'll notice that the hips are a really important part of the core. They're really tightly connected, literally, and just anatomically speaking, your stomach muscles and your hip muscles are, neighbors. Go ahead and go back to that glute bridge. We're going to do 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so we're just going to add on a little bit. So make sure you've got room overhead to our heel touch exercise. So now you're going to bring your heels up just like what you did before, but you're also going to bring your arms up. And if you feel like this is too much for you, you can always go back to the hands on the ground, okay? So now the only change that we're going to make is as we tap one heel to the ground, we're going to bring that same arm overhead, okay? Sorry, the other hand stays up. I'm just making sure that this microphone doesn't get in the way, okay? So let me show you that again. This is our starting position. Hands are over the shoulders, knees are over the hips. We're going to extend the left arm overhead as we tap the left heel to the ground and then bring it back together. Now we're going to go to the other side. Right heel touches, right arm goes overhead. So let's do 12 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is halfway. Just breathe with the movement. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Very good. That's called a dead bug. All right. Next thing we're going to do is extend the knees out, place the feet together. And what we're going to do is lift the hips up off the ground, lower back down. So it's just like the bridge we did before, but this slightly different position opens the hips up in a different way. Okay? So here we go. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Back to our position here, which is great about the first half of this whole workout is that we're going to be laying on our back. So it's very approachable. You can just kind of rest in this nice position. What we're going to do now is bring both knees to our chest and lower back down. Go ahead and keep your butt on the floor for this first set. Just make sure everything's hunky-dory in the lower abdominals and hips. This exercise does require hip flexion or tightening of the hip muscles. So if you have chronically tight hips, you might just want to go back to this one and stretch out. Okay, so let's try 12 of those reverse crunches if that feels okay for you. Okay, so we're just going to go 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, and here at 6, if you're feeling good, for the last 5, make it a little bit bigger and just kind of bring that lower back up, only if that feels okay. 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Back to our butterfly bridges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Reverse crunch. Keep the bum on the floor. 2, 3, 4, 5, halfway at 6. You can make it a little bigger now if that feels fine. Just lifting the lower back slightly. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Nice job. All right. And now we'll come up into the tabletop position. So we're going to get into all fours. Okay. And what we're doing is we're training the core from kind of the inside out. Okay. It's very common for core exercises that are hip and trendy to train the most superficial layer. But I find as a personal trainer and coach that the interior is what matters most, and that's what keeps people from getting injured and helps them with performance. So that's why we're doing a lot of the more internal stuff. So you might not feel it like you would a sit-up or whatever, but we're training those core muscles. We're training you from the inside out. So what we're going to do is get onto all fours. What you're going to do is extend your right leg out and then your left arm. So it's across the body. Then you're going to touch that knee to the elbow and go right back out. Okay? Inhale and exhale, and we're going to do 10 of those. Here we go. Touch the knee to the elbow, open. Knee to elbow, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do 10 of these. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, great. Come back to tabletop. You can kind of just flip one wrist over and then the other. If your wrists are getting a little tight and you need to stretch them out, this does require the wrists to be in a flexed position bearing weight, so that can get uncomfortable. Now we're going to go right arm, left leg, touch in the middle, and then open back up again. And just make that movement as big as you feel that you can, okay? There's 3. Remember, we're going into just 10 on this one. 4, try to kick that leg back. 5, extend from the knee. Reach with the fingertips for 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. Great job. Okay, so if this is us in a tabletop, what I want you to do is walk your hands out and bring your shoulders forward so that your hips lower down into a kneeling plank, okay? Again, we're not here, we're here. So a good mental imagery is if a plane were to take off from your lower, from right in that knee fold, it would go off your shoulders, not your butt. That's kind of the straight line we want to make there. And keeping the knees just apart a little bit will help you feel more stable. So what we're going to do in this kneeling plank is we're going to work our spine a little bit. We're going to reach up and we're going to work all those rotational muscles in the stomach. Okay, so nice and slow there. Let's do 10 more for 12 total. There's 3, 4, just opening up as much as you can. 5, 6, really good for the spine, really good for those rotational muscles in the stomach. 7, 8, almost there. 9, 10, 2 more now. 11, last one, 12. Okay, we're just going to sit back now and stretch out the shoulders, let everything rest a little bit. And we're going to do those two movements again. And then we have one final movement. So you're super, super close. Okay, so we're back on all fours. Left arm, right leg, touch the knee. There's 1, 2, inhale and exhale, 3, 4. Once you've seen me do it a couple times, I'd prefer if you could keep your neck neutral and just look straight at the mat. You can always look up for a form reference, but just in terms of neck positioning, we want to keep that neck neutral. So eyes would be on the mat. 2 more. 1 more. Great job. Stretch the wrist out if you need it. Other side. Open, close. Breathing in and out. 2, 3. Great exercise to open up the hips, train the glutes as well, train coordination, training balance, training the core. One of my all-time favorite movements. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. Walk the hands out. Keep the knees just a little bit spread apart. Drop the hips in, and we're going to do 12 reaches. 1, 2. Nice and slow with the breath. Feel that opening. 4. And if you're really tight in your lower back or spine, your movement's going to be a little bit more limited. So just try to ease into it. The more you do this, the more movement, the more mobility you're going to gain, the better it's going to feel. If you just do this workout once, I can't promise all of that. So try to be regular with this routine in the next 2 to 4 weeks. 1 more each side. Great. And let's sit it back and just stretch out a little bit because that might have been pretty taxing. Awesome. Come on up. And we're just going to finish strong here now. So I want you to be in the seated position, bum underneath of you. And we're just going to kind of train you what it feels like to engage the core muscles. Again, there's a lot of layers to your core, the deep layers, then stacked on top of that, and then more stacked on top of that, and then the more superficial layer. So we're trying to reach all of those, okay? And build you from the inside out. It's a really important way of thinking when it comes to approaching fitness. And to help build that, we're going to do this final exercise. You're just going to sit upright, extend your arms out, and you're going to lean back until you kind of feel the muscles in your core, in your stomach, just activate. And once you feel it, you're going to sit there and hold it, okay? So take a deep breath, lean back until you can just feel those intrinsic muscles, okay? And then you're going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. That's it, okay? You might feel a little pressure in other areas. It's 5 seconds. So just build some strength and awareness. Let's do that again. Inhale. Find that sweet spot where you can just feel those core muscles. 5, 4, engage, engage, engage. Feel it and relax. Great job. We're going to do one more of those. So this is just what it feels like when your core is working, and I want you to remember that. Here we go. Lean back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Bring it up. Okay. And this is kind of a tricky, sneaky one that I'm just going to add on here because we've got a little bit of time. And this is an exercise that I do in other workouts of mine that I've made more and more challenging. It's also a nice stretch and stability exercise that specifically works your lateral core muscle. So I want you to kneel. If it's uncomfortable for you to kneel because of something going on in your knee, place a towel there, or you can just try to stand up and mimic what I'm doing as best you can. All you're going to do is reach down to the floor beside you. Okay, let me show you that from the side. So you're here in this kind of half kneeling lunge. You're going to touch the floor and come back up. And you're not going to twist at all. You're going to keep that as, like we said, lateral or side to side as possible. So that's working your stomach muscles in the side there. And it's also a nice stretch for that lower back, okay? So just do a few more and hit the other side and just finish this way. Inhale and exhale right along the sides. You might feel some of those tighter lower back muscles. You might not be able to reach all the way. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. Eventually, we'll add on to this if you stick with your training. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more. Fantastic. So we're going to go to the other side now. So we're on the lunge. Move that supportive towel if you need that. Okay, all we're going to do is reach to the side. You can place one hand here. You'll feel those muscles lengthening. It's a stretch and a strengthening exercise, which is a great way to end. Great job. Let's do 2 more. 1 more. Nice job. All right, awesome job today. Great work just taking that first step in training your core from the inside out, working all the different layers of your core and just saying, you know, I don't want to suffer any of those injuries that are related to having a weak core. You want to have a strong system and a functional body. So thanks for joining me today. I'll see you guys again next time. And don't forget to check out the super simple strength workout that I've posted beforehand, which is a great exercise for beginners that uses weights, and the balance for beginners exercise. All of these work really, really well. And you could just cycle through one every day or every other day with some light aerobic walking between it. It's a great program, free program for a month that will really set you off on a great fitness journey. So thanks again for joining me today, and we'll see you guys next time.